Tokyo Olympics draw historically record low viewership was the reason. GOP Congressmen will be coming to DOJ, Department of Justice, for fact-finding about the treatment of the detained June 6th. And what has been happening to them. Parents nationwide push back on CRT. More to come, and also the feature story of the today, a Hollywood celebrity director's story. Welcome to Wei and Kathy show. I'm your host, Wei Fang. And where's Kathy? Actually, Kathy is in Washington, D.C. She traveled to Washington, D.C. this early morning. The very reason is she would be reporting at 12 o'clock Eastern time and at 9 o'clock in the morning Western time on an event that's happening in Washington, D.C. So basically, Kevin McCarthy and Marco Rubio and a few congresspeople and senators will be at the White House and basically voicing out their support for the Cuban American and also for the Cubans who are protest in Cuba. We have heard very little from them. The reason is because the Cuban authority basically cut off the cord. They just turn off the internet and so that they can handle this issue that they have. Very familiar to the CCP, Chinese Communist Party's behavior, as we shared with you before. So mark your calendar. Mark your clock. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, Eastern time. We're talking about 13 hours later. Actually, it's tomorrow morning. It will be 8:50. Okay, 8:50 Western time. Just mark your calendar. Or 11:50. And Wei and Kathy, I'll be connecting Kathy into the show from remote, and so we'll be running about a 1 hour live report from the DC. To be honest, events like this are very, very rarely reported. This is inconceivable, 5 or 10 years ago. Everything, for an event like this, you got a swamp of reporters there. All you need to do is just to Google, you got everything. And now we have to send our reporter to Washington, D.C. just to pick up this story because we have no confidence that we are able to get the news from the other media, including the newswire, like AP. So we have to send our people. So Kathy traveled there, this morning and pretty much didn't sleep last night because it was a sudden request. And and also if you feel like supporting us, donate money to us because it's a $700 air ticket, but we have to do it because news is our job. And also, so mark your calendar, please. Mark your hour and your clock, 8:50 Western time tomorrow morning, a live reporting from Washington, D.C. And also, just let you know that we also opened up our Twitter account, and the Twitter account is called Wei and Kathy. Okay, Wei and Kathy, just like the show, Wei & Kathy, and search for that. I think I have pretty much 0 followers. Let's see how fast we can build it up. I actually started my Chinese Twitter account, I think in late December last year, just 7 or 8 months ago. I got over 40,000 followers. And I think I'm still sort of like suppressed, shadow banned. But even with that, I got more than 40,000 people. That's still something encouraging. But mind you, today's program, the first half, as usual, will be on the channel you're watching. And then the second half, which is a very good feature story, very good recording that Kathy interviewed this gentleman, a Hollywood celebrity director, talking about his decision of deserting, just giving up his shining Hollywood career and running for a House seat in the Tennessee. And what's the reason? Why this young man, 32-year-old, why does he want to do that? It's a little inconceivable. But if you watch this interview, I think you'll be moved. Let's watch it together, because at the end of that interview, I still have the jokes for you, okay? And I got this feedback, okay? This feedback's from this, lady or gentleman. His name is USA. This is on a safe chat. He said, I like your broken English and the corny jokes, and keep them coming. All right, thank you. USA. And orbit broken English. Hopefully you find truth in our words. And the corny jokes, I never mean to tell those corny jokes, right? They're old jokes. Unfortunately, I just cannot imagine there's a time that I have to retell those corny jokes. But they are the joke that tell the truth. Okay, stay with us. Now let's quickly go through the news recap in the first half. Then we'll be moving to midway to Safe Chat and to go to the feature story of today. And before you do that, making sure you download and install Safe Chat. Just Safe Chat, go to the Apple Store, Google Play, and download that. And also our staff will be posting the link, the web link. You can click over there, making sure you register an account on the right-hand side so that you are able to, write and interact in the comment area. And in the meantime, if you have Twitter account, just search Wei and Kathy and follow us. I'll be posting very interesting stuff, short video there. And all right, again, thank you very much. Let's just get down to business. So first, very quick words about the Tokyo Olympics. On a Friday, there was this opening ceremony. Let me mute my computer. Opening ceremony, and then, in Japan, Japanese love it. So the rating of in Japan is 56%. So more than half of the Japanese people watched it. It's their country. They love it. In the U.S., however, it's completely another story. And it's just, the rating by the NBC, which is the solo network that have the rebroadcasting right, and they recorded the lowest record in 33 years. Okay, only less than 17 million people watched it. And what does that mean? That means 39% lower than 4 years ago, last Olympics, and 58% lower than the London Olympics, which is 80 years ago. What's the reason? The three-time Olympian Lolo Jones, which is an American athlete, well, she said pretty much two reasons. First is time gap, 13 hours away. When the opening ceremonies, was being held, America is asleep. The second is the things that happened, the anthem, the protest against American national anthems. And she said that she don't know how much was the percentage, but some people, they are driven away by this kind of politicizing the sports. She said people want to see the sports. And if you do that, use that stadium, use that platform as your speaking platform, a good number of people will be turned away. So likewise with NBC, right? NBA have this NBA final, as you know, is just 35% lower than 2019, which is the year before the pandemic year of 2020. So the sports are indeed, suffering, the ratings tanking, and I think you and I, we all know what's the reason, although that's not enough, statistics yet. Okay, move on to the next piece of news, which is tomorrow, 1 o'clock in the East Coast. So basically, 12 o'clock, there's this the event that Kathy will be covering. At 1 o'clock, this is another event at the DOJ. So basically, 4 congresspeople, Matt Gaetz, this is a Florida congressman, and Louis Gourmet, this is Texas, and Paul Gausser, Arizona congressman, and also the Tyler Green, which is a Georgia congressman. So they will be gathering at the DOJ at tomorrow, 1 o'clock, to make the public demand the demand they made in a letter to Attorney General Merrick Garland, all right? So, and what's that letter? The letter they sent out last month, okay? They request a meeting with the AG, the Attorney General, to discuss unanswered questions related to the treatment of January 6 prisoners. All right, because so far they have been making repeated requests and sending repeated questions about the situation for several months, and they received no response. Okay, in hindsight, the government has arrested more than 500 individuals, all right, in connection with with the breach of the Capitol on the January 6th. And so the attorneys for the prisoners said this. I just quoted a few sentences. The statement said they are being beaten, sleep deprived, denied medical care, and held in solitary confinement for a long period of time. The attorney statement went on and said the Supreme Court of the United States have ruled that pre-trial detainees, unlike convicted persons, cannot be punished at all, never mind maliciously and sadistically. Okay, so and the Congress people, I'm sorry for that, and the Congressman Robby Starbuck, this is a Texas congressman, and he issued this statement. Let me read it to you. He said that this should chill every American. One would expect to see abuses of political prisoners in tyrannical third world countries, not the United States. But we don't know what of these claims are true because this administration refused to answer basic questions and give accountability for what appears to be their vengeful actions. So DOJ, so far, they have more than 14,000 hours of raw video recorded from multiple points within and without the U.S. Capitol during the January 6th. And apparently, as a result, they have been arranged a plea bargain, plea agreement with those detainees, and so that to reach a settlement agreement. However, Congressman Gorman said, no matter whom you are in this country, you have the right to a fair trial and the right to see the evidence against you, including all potentially exculpatory or exonerating evidence. So a plea agreement should not even be offered until these requirements are met. So basically, the congressman apparently doesn't agree. Why do you have so many plea agreements? We have seen none of those evidence. So it's like a privately just arranged for plea agreement that against the law. Anyway, so far as we know that actually Kathy interviewed a gentleman. Actually, he was a county supervisor of the New Mexico, and he did not enter the Capitol, but he was reported by his cameraman. As a result, he was arrested, and he was put into detention center for 30 days. Okay, for the first 10 days, he does not even got a chance to get a shower, so cannot get to see his attorney. So Kathy got this interview. We posted it on the Safe Chat. If you go there, just scroll forward a little bit, you see that interview, and it was the viewership was pretty high. A lot of people saw that interview, and you can go there. That's his word. Okay, so basically this situation is gaining more attention. Okay, of course I just cannot help mentioning the only casualty related to January 6th is the Air Force veteran Ashley Babbitt, and he was shot by identified Capitol police officer. As of now, there's no identification of who this person is. So this is quite rare, right? Somebody's died. There's nobody who come forward and say, I did it, and it did it in the right way, and it was just, and I have nothing to hide. So basically, we don't know that person is, and there's no accountability over there. And so in the meantime, on the other side of the story, President Joe Biden actually today nominated a gentleman. His name is Matthew Graves. He's a partner at a Washington law firm. And also he was the assistant U.S. attorney during the Obama administration, and he was appointed to be the U.S. attorney for D.C. All right, so he will be responsible for the charging of those January 6 detainees. And just a little backstory. Okay, previous Attorney General, his name is Michael Sherwin. Okay, Michael Sherwin had his assignment. Before he got his assignment to another job at the DOJ, he gave a lengthy interview about the prosecuting January 6 cases in the CBS 60 Minutes, all right? And during the interview, and he claimed that the government could charge some individuals with the sedition, all right? And that comment really make a federal judge unhappy. He said, this is before trial, and you go to 60 Minutes and say this. This is gonna really, taint the public opinion. All right, so he was really mad and wrote a wrote a letter to the DOJ. So the case was then referred to the Department of Justice for internal investigation. Okay, this former acting Attorney General Michael Sherwin. All right, so he was actually being internally investigated. So we don't know what's the reason. That was back in March. All right, now it's July. So I don't have any news for you about what happened. All right, a quick news here. This is news of today, okay? In Minnesota, there's a school district. It's called Startel St. Stephen School District. And over there, the student of those school district were required to complete an equity survey, okay? And this came from a company called Equity, not a company, and nonprofit, presumably, Equity Alliance, MN, Minnesota. Equity Alliance, MN, is a left-wing activist group, and they took $80,000 from the school district and to do an audit on the racial equalities within the district. All right, so a fourth grader, a girl just came forth and told the school district hearing, and she said, my teacher said I could not skip any question on the survey, even when I did not understand them, okay? The second, she said, one question asked us what gender we identify ourselves with. And she said, I was very confused, along with a lot of other classmates. The girl's name is Haley, okay? And the students were also told, note this, Haley said, students were also told that they were not permitted to repeat any of the questions to our parents. All right? And Haley said, being asked to hide this from my parents, my mom, made me very uncomfortable, like I was doing something wrong. Okay, so that small gym room where the hearing was held, over 100 people, 100 parents, just squeezed into it, and they were all very, very concerned. Okay, and then how do they defend themselves? Okay, that organization, he said they were doing that to enforce anti-bullying rules and combating mental health issues. And they said they did not specifically reference CRT. Okay, anyway, so Haley's father, he said the parents group has been requesting a copy of the equity survey. Give it to us. Let's take a look. They did not give it to them, so they don't even get to see it. However, an economics professor at the St. Cloud State University, and his name is David Switzer. Switzer got a chance to look at that survey and analyze that. His conclusion is very negative. He said there's deficiency in the data, methodology, and reporting, including details of all the omissions and errors. And he said the survey result does not help with the education. I'm rephrasing it, okay? It does not help with the education purpose at all. So this is what just happened in the Minnesota. And Axios just reported effort to recall school board members are happening all across the country, all right, due to this plan to implement the CRT in the elementary school and high schools. And halfway through the year, there are at least 51 local recall efforts currently underway, targeting altogether 130 elected members of these school boards. And if you look at in the past 14 years, and only 23 recall efforts happened every year, averagely, and this year 51. So it was more than doubled, all right? And then most of them actually happen in California. You think California are the least outspoken here? No, they are the most, all right? California leads the nation with the 22 current recall efforts. Arizona has 6, and Idaho have another 4. So anyway, nationwide, there was this survey, this poll last year, according to YouGov and Economics, and 58% of Americans express unfavorable view of the critical race theory. Only 33% say they are favorable of it. But that's very, very big. People stay on the different end. Among Democrats, 86% of them favor this, and Republican only 6%. But let's look at the independents. Okay, for independents, 20% they're siding with the conservative side. 20%, only 20%, they are favorable, and 76% they are unfavorable. And at least 22 states that so far has either introduced legislation to ban CRT or have already banned it. All right, that's that news. Okay, so already 20 minutes. Next one, I will be moving to Safe Chat, and I will introduce to you about a young Hollywood celebrity director. His name is Robby Starbuck. Robby Starbuck had an interview, 17 minutes, with Kathy, and it was a very good interview. Just trust me. Let's go over there. Let's go to the Safe Chat. Before you go there, remember the Twitter. Our Twitter account is Wei and Kathy. And now, our staff, please post the link. Just go over there and also install the Safe Chat app so they can always catch the notification that we will be sending over to you. Okay, let's go to the Safe Chat now. And thank you for everyone coming to the YouTube. For the Safe Chat folks, let's move together. How about that? Okay,